Well, the main question on my podcast is I would love for you to share a story or stories where you feel like you witnessed something magical or miraculous in your life, and then just talk about how it changed you because those things always change us. Inevitably, they always change us. So I'd love to hear whatever you have to share.
So mine is probably a little different than what you're used to hearing. It's not a like spiritual story where I encountered like a ghostly figure or anything. Unfortunately, I haven't experienced anything cool like that, but hopeful. I'm just kidding. Hopeful for the future. I'm just kidding. Something I wanted to talk about was the experience of collective effervescence. Um, I feel like when I was in I don't know, it all ties into my experience in the church, unfortunately or fortunately, just because that's so deeply ingrained into who I am and my identity or previous identity. But the idea of collective effervescence when you well, let me back up. Let me paint you a picture. You're at a youth church conference. You are 12, 13, 14 years old. You're with hundreds of other kids and the worship band comes on. They're really cool. They look really cool. They sound really cool. They're playing cool instruments. They're dressed cool. They have the coolest shoes, hair, everything. They, you look on stage and you realize like, oh, they're a couple. They're married. I want to be just like that couple, like be like a worship team powerhouse. Like I want to be just like that speaker who came on and talked about, how they overcame their sin and the lights turn down and the temperature cools and there's lights that are hitting the fog that they've produced in the room and you get goosebumps because you look around and everybody is worshiping Jesus. This was my experience. Again, Jesus was who we worship. And I had the urge to like raise my hands and worship and lift my hands in the air, and or some people would get down on their knees and let the spirit lead you. And that was an interesting experience because I never quite felt like that was the natural thing to do, but everybody else around me was doing it, so I was doing it. And the goosebumps, the feeling of looking around, getting so emotional to see everybody like worshiping Jesus. And then I realized, after I left the church, that was collective effervescence. That was a feeling that you experience when you're together with other people in a big setting like that, when you're all experiencing something. It can happen at concerts. It can happen when you like witness a flash mob, or when you see somebody propose on a crowded beach and everybody claps for them, or when your kid wins an award at a ceremony, or you see your little brother graduate high school and everybody's cheering for him when they announce his name, or everybody throws their caps and gown. Like these experiences happen all the time. Or like when you're on an airplane and everyone claps when you land. Like those little like feelings are spiritual for sure, but not in the way that I thought they were. It's spiritual in the way that we're all part of this like heartbeat of the world. We all have a little tiny piece and responsibility to be the best that we can be for each other. We need to show up for each other. And, when we're in those spaces, enjoy every moment of it because it's very rare. It doesn't happen every week. You don't experience collective effervescence every week unless you're like an avid rager concert goer and you're like appearing at all these like events, like, and you just like chase that high. And if that's the case, then I adore you and I think that's amazing because I wish I could do that every week. But it's really collective effervescence is that feeling I was chasing for so long that I didn't realize I didn't need this organized religious structure to experience.